aika huivit ylös nostaa. SJK! Ei me luovuteta koskaan. Ei koskaan. SJK! Jos et tajunnut tosta, niin se Seinäjoen jalkapallokerho. SJK! Ja muita joo, eikä tuu, se on meidän kerho. Pallo keskelleen ja menossi aika, mutta odotukse kentällä teoiksi.
Moi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Jules, and this is the Seinäjoki Football Supporters Podcast, bringing you news, reviews and interviews from SJK Seinäjoki.
Yeah, but we're doing it in English for an international fan base. Jules, it's been a while. Welcome back.
Long while. Yeah, long cold winter. Well, not actually that long for by Finnish standards, but still.
No, that's right. We stopped at the end of the season, really, didn't we? And There's been a lot going on. And I did something in January. So hopefully the listener and viewer has seen what we put out then. But what are we talking about in this episode?
Well, hibernation time is over. The new season is almost upon us. So we're going to review what's happened since the end of last season, casting our minds back, and what we can expect from this season.
Yeah, I've had two Google Docs open since last autumn, really. One for this show and one for the Finnish football show. And every time a useful story comes up, I just make a note of it there because this old brain doesn't remember stuff.
There wasn't much there when I opened it up on Friday, mate.
No, actually, there was less for us. There were more sort of in the other one. No, you're right. I was a bit surprised when it came back to it as well. I was like, okay, we're going to have to start thinking about what's been going on.
Took me a bit of time on Friday to do the prep for this. So,
yeah, well done. Thanks for that.
No worries.
Talking about things I can't precisely remember, at the last home game, I was accosted by a couple of SJK fans separately, Sami and Janne. I can't precisely remember what they said to me, other than they were both very positive. And I think I might have had one or two beers because I can't exactly remember what the guys look like either. But the words stick with me, and I think we're in the business of talking and words, so I think that's the most important thing. So, Sami and Janne, thank you for your kind words, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. I can't remember that we played gigs. Did we win?
Yeah, that was the last game of the
last
season.
Game of the season.
Yeah. So. And actually what I did at the time was I sent you a WhatsApp message and said, hey, these two names, they need a shout out on the next show. And now here we are, like 4 or 5 months later with the next show. So Let's get on with that show. Where are we starting, Jules?
Well, I suppose the most significant thing that happened straight after that was Stevie Grieve has gone to Helsingbor's IF. We're speaking English.
That was a good mixture of Finnish and English pronunciation.
But not Swedish.
Yeah, no.
And he's doing really well there because currently they're sitting third in the second tier of Swedish football.
That's a really good start.
Yeah, it is, especially as the season hasn't started and they are third alphabetically. So that's a difference between these Scandinavian languages where H gets you third rather than if it was in the English league, I think you'd be mid-table.
Yeah, you certainly would. That's right.
Yeah.
But it's a good move for Stevie and probably not a massive surprise that it came at the end of last season.
Nah, it was coming. We all knew. It was just a question of when. He's gone to a bigger club, and he said it's closer to his family. Not so much geographically, but also time-wise. That it's closer to a big airport, so it's easy to fly in and fly out. So
yeah, I mean, it literally is closer geographically. Although he's still in the Nordics rather than being in the UK or whatever. But it was that hour flight to Copenhagen, an hour on the train, rather than a 3-hour flight and 3 hours on the train. So it's
I think it's 3 hours on the train. That's the clincher, really, I suppose. Thing. But saying that, he went for a ridiculously tiny sum. We talked about it on the show before that when he goes, at least we'll get some money for him, but we didn't get anything significant. And so
it's a bit strange. Yeah, because he signed a new contract last summer.
Yeah, so whoever signed off on that contract, we need to get more lawyers involved next time and make sure that the contract is actually, we get compensated for it because I'm not going to put a price on it, but you would be looking to get compensation that at least covers a significant proportion of a coach's salary, annual salary.
When I heard that a new contract had been signed, I was thinking that, oh, well, when he goes, maybe we'll get like 100 grand or something like that for it. That would be, that's a reasonable transfer fee for a Nordic player. So you'd hope something similar for an up and coming coach. And
at the minimum, I was thinking 30,000.
Right,
minimum
okay.
30,000. But then as you say, for a football player, then 100,000 definitely. So
well, you say need to get lawyers involved. Why not just get a couple of aging podcasters who seem to have a bit of a clue about football transfers?
Well, what I mean is like how watertight is the contract? That's the kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. There's like the contract itself must have been super easy to get out of. And if you're going to have people signing contracts, then make sure that they result in the club getting compensated.
Yeah, and when you say easy to get out of, you mean like easy for somebody to buy him out of? Because that is what happened, but we just understand that it was a very, very low.
Yeah, too easy to buy them out.
Yeah.
So that was disappointing.
Yeah, but we had 3 good years with Stevie. It's for us, it's like a friend who's gone, so that's always just sad as well. But this is football, and people move on.
Yeah,
that's just
it was good while it lasted.
Yeah. And we lost. Now we're going to talk about what's been going on with players in the closed season. And I mean, it's always like this. There's a lot come in and a lot go out. But start by talking about who's gone out.
Yeah, well, Babacar Fati, who where did I put his 26? Not on the 1st of February. I don't know why. He left for Livingston FC, 3.5 years, undisclosed fee. I think, according to, did I check Football Transfer? It was something like 150,000 or something like that. But who knows?
No, anyway, that's right. Who knows?
Yeah, they're bottom of the Scottish Premier League, but still, it's a step up. He's been regular in the squad there, but only had 3 starts. I think he's come off the bench 3 times, which is basically playing in almost every game since his transfer there. So good luck to him, and it's good that we got some money for the transfer as well, even if it is undisclosed. We don't know what it is.
Yeah, but undisclosed. If it's, again, we're speculating like all fans have to when it's not announced. But if it's 100,000, that's a huge percentage of our playing budget. There was a
10%.
Yeah, basically, or maybe even more. I think our playing budget is about 800,000 this year. If what has been published and that I shared in another group the other day is accurate, then 800,000. That's a big lump of that.
Yeah. And also, there's a sell-on fee if something happens there.
Yeah, and as we talked about last year, the sell-on fee is normally a percentage of the profit, and I understand, and this, don't hold me to this, but I understand that if players then are sold on again and again, if the club that we sold him to profits, then a bit of that comes down. It's the profit on that player. So, but anyway,
have you listened to The Price of Football? Is that in
only 2 or 3 times a week?
So have you picked it up? Have you gleaned that from there, or
probably? Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, it is quite good because people phone in with questions or write in with questions, and so you get the same sort of questions and similar answers, and eventually it starts to sink into my head that this is how things go. So we'll see. I mean, let's be honest. We've sold him to the bottom of the Scottish Premier League. They're unlikely to sell him on for 50 million in the next couple of years. So I don't think we should be expecting too much more coming in. But anyway, it's a sell.
You never know if he shines there, which it doesn't look like he has been. If he's only got 3 starts, but then quite often when players go down, then the best ones get picked off. So
that's
not for
true.
much money.
Yeah, that's true. We had a few players that left with no kind of transfer fee and sort of different kinds of arrangements there. The first one you got on the list is Kevin Yarko, and I was a bit disappointed to see him go already.
Yeah, he was always box in the box, wasn't he? He scored some goals, and he's gone to join Stevie at Helsingborgs.
Yeah,
IF.
I'm a bit surprised because he came in partway through last season and was sort of in and around the first team squad all the time and scored a few goals. And I was thinking that
important goals as well.
Yeah, exactly. Winning goals. The one away to Hucker, for example.
Yeah.
And I thought this might be the year that he really starts to make a push for a regular first team place, but that seems not.
So is it the new management team just don't rate him? Maybe.
Don't know, do we? Don't hear much. Don't hear much from anyone at the club, really, apart from occasional little out updates on the website, but nothing that interesting.
Something more clear about not being rated, I suppose, is Miguel Rodriguez. So our number 2 goalkeeper, his contract was annulled, so he's off to pastures new, I guess, when someone wants him. So we've kind of signed, or we have James, and the academy keeper now steps up, and Viitala, young guy, came in as well. So we kind of replaced our backup goalkeepers.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, it was Hemmel was our backup.
Hemmel was the backup, and Samuel James came into the academy.
Yeah, and Rodriguez was academy number 1, wasn't he, for a while? And
I'm not so surprised he's gone. Like he's been at the club for several years now, and he was very young when he came here, and we always have to remember that. But not seemingly pushing for a regular place in the first team squad. So I'm not surprised. Maybe he's thinking time to look somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. Go on, you can do the difficult names.
Josh Ogpoloppo went to Lithuania again. That was a bit of a strange one because he came in during last season and had again sort of in and around the first team squad, but straight out again.
Yeah. No transfer fee, but of course we can still get he's under contract, I believe, so we can still get a sell on. Is it? Or we can get a sell on.
He's transferred away with no fee, but was under contract with us at the time. So yeah, potentially there's a sell on fee there.
The speed merchant on the right wing, Alanis Vargas, is on loan to Manisa FK in Turkey, the second tier Turkey. He's there for 6 months, and they've got an option to buy, so that could hopefully does well there.
Yeah, I personally, I think he didn't quite deliver for us. He always looked quite exciting. He looked like potential, and he had tricks, but he also had trouble staying on his feet as well. And that was a bit frustrating.
Potential unfulfilled. Maybe he had a lot of potential, and it had moments of glimmers of brilliance or of effectiveness, and then other times it's just
glimmers of brilliant effectiveness.
I changed brilliance. I thought it's a bit too just effectiveness was maybe.
Maybe. I was. I mean, it's not surprising to see that Lauri Elaine moved on. I was disappointed because I think last season he was good and even at the start of last season in the Liigacup, he looked exciting. He was really direct, running at the byline, pulling the ball back and creating things. And I wanted to see that develop again this year. But he's moved to Baník Ostrava in Czechia, and again another undisclosed transfer fee, but money coming in and surely money in the future. I think nowadays very few clubs do a deal without having some kind of sell-on fee, and
it must always be.
It's how it generally is how it is, isn't it? So let's see.
Yep. And so then there's two players whose contracts run out. So Rasse Karjalainen has gone back to his hometown in AC Oulu. So
he's been named as part of the captain's team up at Oulu, and is centre of the photograph when they announced that they've got a TV series, like a reality TV series coming, and this is there in the middle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that.
Dear.
I can't remember what the name of it is, but he shared that on Instagram as well. I haven't trolled him about it yet, but I might do.
Well, good luck to him anyway. Well, obviously not when he's playing against us, but I quite liked to have that experienced head. We got such a young team, and maybe Aciola are doing the same thing, that you've got this experienced club player there who just stays with the team and brings experience and support and leadership. So yeah, I was sad to see him go because I thought he could offer that for us. But okay,
back to his hometown or hometown team, I suppose. Yeah, and the other one who,
sad to see go. Go on, Mark.
No, sorry, I was going to say the other one is Valentin Gask, who told us at the end of last season that he had done everything he could to stay, but just couldn't. They just couldn't get a deal with the club, so he moved on to Cups in Kuopio, and I mean, the Cups has had a massive turnover. They were still in the Conference League knockout stage, and in between qualifying for that and actually playing it, they had this massive turnover of both coach and loads of players. And he dropped into the squad and straight into the Conference League knockout stages.
Yeah, he'll do well there. He'll be a first team player, and he'll do well. And I can imagine him moving on in a season or two as well from Cups. It's like,
But there's no sell-on fee for us because there was no transfer from us. He was out of contract, unfortunately.
Out of contract, yeah.
But then who is still here, Jules?
Funny you should ask that, Mark.
It's only the third time. The previous two had to be edited out. I was so trying to keep it together, and you burst my bubble. But anyway, go on. Is it possible you expected more players to go, Jules?
It is. I can name them as well.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. I expected one of the two centre backs to go. So Samuel Chukwudi and Kelvin Perez. Now, not that we want them to go.
No,
we want them to stay.
Yeah.
But then just thinking of the next career step. And then I thought one of Markus Asolo and Kasper Parnanen, I thought one of those two would be on their way as well, especially Kasper after winning the Golden Boot last season, and just so many goals.
Yeah, and I think there have been offers for him, and the club could not agree with those buying clubs in January. I guess the terms weren't right. The terms weren't right for the club, even if the fees seemed to be quite good.
Oh, so the fees. I mean, the thing is, we got an asset like this. You don't sell cheap. You know what I mean? It's like you want to get the value for it. But it does sign of look that there is trouble selling on. And earlier there was, in the postseason, there was talk about investment from abroad. And Riper did say what the main reason wasn't to get the money in, but it was more about improving international connections and contacts and sales channels, really, how we can move players on. But it does, I would appear, all the players that left, and the fact that they've been undisclosed fees, then it's obviously nothing to shout about. And our whole philosophy is to get these young talents, develop them and sell them on. And we're doing two of those three things. We're getting the young talents, we're developing them. But the third one...
I think the undisclosed fee, often it's both clubs. Like, both clubs have to agree either to disclose it or not disclose it. And it could be that both of those clubs don't want others knowing how much money they've got.
Yeah, but for both the cases that we mentioned earlier, that undisclosed fee is unlikely to be more than 200,000.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and with Kasper, then what is our record set on? Because again, it's undisclosed, but it's somewhere by like 500 to 600,000.
Yes. Yeah, but wasn't it? Was it? But previously it was Cedric Kogawa. I don't know. But
then after that it was the centre back who went to France. Went to Spain first and then to France. Terry Yegbe.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So, and again, that was like 600,000 was the word banded on the street. And when I spoke to Stevie one time, who wasn't giving us any information, he just said, "That's a lot of money."
So that suggests it was nowhere near 600,000.
Yeah.
And it shows what the street knows.
But also, it could be that it could be a lot of money, but then just trying to get details out of Stevie for those kind of things was quite impossible, as it should be. Quite
right.
Yeah.
Quite right.
Yeah.
All right, so that's who's gone.
But then
And
Casper, it's like,
sorry.
he shouldn't be going for, a small fee, and obviously it's got to suit him as well. It's a step up. So it's a bit. I'm a bit disappointed for him, not for us. We're pleased to have him, but then hopefully we can get this pathway of selling on our talent. We've got a lot of talent here, but getting properly compensated for it.
Yeah, and Casper has, in the last couple of days, made a step up in his career, but we'll talk about that shortly.
Yeah.
So we talked about all those that have gone, and we didn't mention Ao Obileye. He's also gone to Gnistan, so that would be another reason not to lose any more centre backs if we can help it. Okpalokpo's gone, Obileye's gone, so we want to try and keep some of the big boys at the back.
Yeah.
But who
was useful.
hasn't?
He did a good job for us, and he'll do a good job for them as well.
Yeah, I think so.
You mentioned that he's going to be in the captain's group.
Yeah, in Gnistan, that's right. So all these players leaving us and becoming captains of other clubs with him and Rusty.
Yeah. Which could be a bit worrying. I mean, it's like these old leadership figures. So hopefully we got it within the team that there's leadership there. And
we'll come on to our captain's team shortly. But first of all, who's arrived in this winter?
Well, again, the biggest one off. If Stevie Grieve leaves, then we need a new coach. So Jakovic, who's a proven winner, at least with Cups last year, won the Veikkausliiga, and he spoke well at the fans event meeting after.
Did he? He didn't speak very long.
Well, I've written that. I can't remember what he said, but I think it was all right. I can't remember. Actually, I'm just giving the credit here because, I can't remember what was said.
I mean, in the past we've had these meet the manager events where it was sort of Stevie and Rich alone, and they kind of held court for an hour and answered questions and things like that. This was a different event at the end of. Oh, it wasn't the end of last season. It was during the Liigacup.
It's after a pre-season game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and the whole squad came up into the Carlsberg bar, and it was post-match. There was a compere who brought people up, and Jarkovic spoke for a few minutes, and then
Pekka Lehtinen?
No, before Pekka, Adriel Gavilan, the man who has the job title of director, which is deliciously vague, and he came and spoke and answered a few questions as well. And about the transfers, he said that he's the one that signs off on the transfers, but he trusts the coaching team also to be bringing players to them as well. So that was interesting. Seemingly there's obviously there's a different structure because all the people that were here a year ago have now moved on to other clubs. But yeah, I think you mentioned Pekka. He was the star. I think he was the star of the show because once he got the microphone in his hand, he was like working the crowd, and that was the most entertaining part. And then some of the players spoke as well, and there was some questions. It was a good event. But I think Jarkko Viss played a cameo appearance in that event.
Okay. So we'll take that spoke well.
Yeah, he spoke.
Spoke
well. He spoke.
Yeah.
Then we got a long list of players coming in, and I mean, we'll list them.
They all fit the profile.
They do fit the profile.
Not all of them, sorry, but a lot of them fit the profile of this young, up-and-coming Finnish talent.
Young, up-and-coming Finnish, and you and I don't know much about them.
Yeah, that's true. But
that's fine. That's fine.
What I will say is that from the two, and I've only seen two Liigacup games because we're playing our pre-season games at stupid times where you can't actually get to watch them.
Yeah.
Then they look good, or the players that I've seen and how we've been playing looked good. So
let's just list some of these new players so that people can keep an ear out for their names of coming through the season.
First one is R. Bostrom, 19-year-old midfielder from Turku.
Then there's Jaakko Moisio, came from Ilves, 20-year-old, Finnish under-18 international, joined us on a 2-year contract.
Yeah, right back. And then Albin, Bjukskog, 21 from Jaro. So he's got Veikkausliiga experience already, playing last season. And he likewise is Finnish under 18, or was, and he's got a 2-year contract.
But isn't he also injured for the whole season already?
Is he?
I think that might have been the player that got injured and is not available. So it's a good job he's got a 2-year contract. He's going to need the second year.
What kind of injury was it? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Right.
Too many messages popping up in different groups for me to remember. Then there was Joonas Kekkarainen, a 20-year-old midfielder from Inter. Jules has written here he's a fast winger, which is
I don't know. I found that somewhere, but that's kind of like a like for like with Vargas, isn't it? That you just get a fast winger there.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So, Eto Momo returns on a 2-year contract. Although it's quite strange, he's still under contract at Lecce for somehow, but they've let him come here and play. So I don't know. I think he's still got a contract there, but they've kind of loan.
So it's like a 2-year loan, is it?
No, he's got a 2-year contract here, but they've kind of said that you can come. I don't know, but it's something.
Good. I think we're proving we're developing, we're delivering or displaying the same level of cluelessness that we always do. So we're keeping up. We're keeping up our standards.
Moving on.
Johannes Viitala, 19-year-old goalkeeper, joined us into primarily the academy team, I suppose.
Yeah, I imagine so. That he'll be. Well, it depends how they want to roll it. That will Samuel James get the experience of playing for the academy team, or how do they do it? But yeah, it's like I would say he's at the moment 3rd choice goalkeeper. Yeah. And then there's
you're getting all the good names, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, he did some Usemane Jalon, a 21-year-old, and who's got a Portuguese and a Guinea-Bissau. Is it Bissau? Is it passport? And this is he's on a loan deal here until the summer. So I don't know, how is it, 6 months, with an option to buy, and he's come from CD Mafrastra. I suppose it's at Portugal.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
What I do know is that we also had Mohamed Suso, Gambian player, who joined us from Pardubice in the Czechia top division. This is a loan deal for this year with an option to buy. And you've written there, Jules, 6 games and 2 goals. Yeah,
that's what
playing in Czechia.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's not bad, and it's a good league. So that looks pretty good. Yeah.
And then the final one that we've got on the list here is Lucas Rangel.
Yeah, who doesn't really fit the profile of all the others. Well, a lot of the others, like young Finnish talent. So he's certainly
does. He does fit the profile of the player you said we're losing, which are these older, more experienced captain material or leader material.
Yeah, but what I would say with one of the things with leaders, or like with Rasse, for example, he was at the club for a few years. That people who know the club, I don't think. Leaders don't. I mean, maybe leaders can come in, but like captain kind of material don't come in and become captain. So, and he's gone through quite a lot of clubs. So I wonder how. I don't think he'll be with us next season. Put it that way. So, but it's an experienced goal getter. 28 goals in 78 Veikkausliiga. I've not said in the world.
No. I think
it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
I think he also had some time at Cortepe last year and was injured quite a bit. So difficult to score and play and get that rhythm going when you're injured. And maybe not captain material, but just a little bit of experience out there around which these younger players can sort of coalesce. I think also it's been interesting
more in midfield, though, if you know what I mean. The experience, or in the centre defence. That kind of if you're up top, then you can get isolated, and also if you start giving directions, it can sound a bit whiny, if you know what I mean. But if you're in the midfield or in the centre of defence, it's easier to control and exert your leadership there.
I'm hoping this year that our man Wilson is going to be that kind of midfield leader. I mean, not necessarily. I don't know. There's just something about how he came into the squad last year, and I thought the players we brought through in the middle of last year were going to be the ones coming into the team for this season. And I think, Arcelo, Wilson, Prosper Pedera, that's quite a solid midfield before we even look at some of these new players that have come in.
There's one of the friendly League Cup games I saw, and I can't remember which midfield player it was. Was it Bostrom, possibly? But I thought, okay, that's Gask's replacement.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Looked good, and I thought that I was so impressed that we're not going to miss Valet so much as we could do. So. Yeah, but hopefully the young players now are getting older, and if you're good enough, if you got it in you, does have, he's got this charisma, he's got this leadership potential. So, some people are born leaders. So good luck with him being SJK's captain now, and I think he hopefully can provide the leadership we need.
You're talking about Marcus Arcelo.
Yes.
Yeah, and this brings us on to the captain's team for this year. So as well as Marcus, there's the vice captain is Roope Paunio.
Yeah.
And then in that captain's team is also Elias Mastogangas and Oskari Baisto.
Yeah.
And I would add to that when I did the AFCON episode back in January, that Prosper Pedera said that his idol is Caicedo from Chelsea,
right.
And Ola Tessalini told me that his idol is Kylian Mbappe, and I made them both promise that that's how they're going to play this year. So we should be good with those captains and then those performances around them.
There's so much potential in this squad. There's so much potential of players that can come in and make it their season, that make it their breakthrough season, as in like become regular names on the team sheet, like first starting 11 all the time, and start to boss the game.
Well, we've had the pre-season, Jules. Did we see much of that potential yet?
Just the 2 games. We looked okay. We when we were playing, I thought the games were okay. We looked okay, but the results were terrible.
First, this is the Liigacup phase. Yeah, it's true. I thought we looked like we were playing the ball around all right, and maybe looking a little bit more to get the ball out wide and behind the defenders a little bit more quickly, which is fine. It was still kind of potentially exciting football, but we just didn't. I suppose we looked a little bit brittle at the back because we lost the games and we conceded plenty of goals in the Liigacup.
I mean, I know the League Cup, or we know the League Cup's about getting minutes into legs, but it's also, you want to build some kind of winning mentality and get something to get the fans excited about the season coming along. And it just seemed it was, it looked okay, but the results were terrible. We only beat a Cup's youth team because the Cup's team were on warm weather training before a Conference League game. So, and I was luckily away, but do we talk about it?
Yeah, go on, talk about it. It was bad.
Losing 6-0 is never good. Losing 6-0 at home to VPS is not acceptable in any circumstances whatsoever. So, I mean, I didn't see the game, but I was angry for at home. I was in England for a couple of days, thinking, So,
we're in a WhatsApp group, and there's a Cubs fan in there as well. There's fans from many clubs in that group, and you don't want to give them any opportunity to gloat, even if it's just a Liigacup game that no one really is that excited about. Still, your biggest rivals. I don't know.
I didn't see the game.
No, I
Don't know
didn't. I
anything
didn't
about
see
it.
the game.
I haven't even wanted to ask what went wrong or anything like that. I just want to sweep it under the carpet and move on. But yeah, so the League Cup for me, okay, getting minutes into the legs is the goal, but it was a disaster.
But then we've had a series of friendly games, and we haven't been able to really watch many of those either.
No, I haven't seen any of those.
I must
Better
admit,
results.
the first couple of games, there were games played sort of during the weekend, and I was a bit demotivated, like everything from the Liigacup, and
That's what I mean. The League Cup, you should be
yeah,
going in with some kind, getting fans to go to these friendlies as
yeah.
well, and getting selling tickets. Well, okay, you're not going to sell any tickets. It's only going to be season tickets, but getting people into the ground, getting ready for the season. But
bit difficult
yeah.
when the games are being played on Wednesday at 2:00 in the afternoon or Friday in the afternoon. It's it's clearly they don't really want the fans there, or
No,
no, they don't. They clearly they don't
that's
want
it.
the fans there because
Yeah,
otherwise it would be at a time when we could actually attend.
yeah.
And that's fine because they're practice games, and
Is
you
it?
know,
Is it
well,
fine?
it doesn't really. It doesn't really matter, does it? Like it's okay. It's good to go and watch those games and get a little bit of an idea what might come in the season. But they are practice games to get the team ready for the season, and the fans are supposed to be there when the league season starts.
Yeah, but isn't it practice games for the club to get fans more involved with the club,
Practice
to
for the
get people?
fans to do a bit of singing and
Well, not
clapping.
that, just to get that when the season starts and everyone's going to turn up, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't. I know what you mean, and it's always kind of the more hardcore fans that want to be there for all the practice games and whatever. But the most important thing, we've got a new coach and learning his squad and new players coming in. So the most important thing is that when we go away to Hoyiko in the first game of the season, we're ready.
Yeah, that is the most
Whether
important
we
thing.
know if
Yep.
we're ready or not by that time, we won't know because we won't really see much of them. But
No, but the results have been getting better.
yeah, that's true.
So we beat Yarnstan and we got draws with TPS and a respectable one against Kups when again both sets of teams had key players missing through international call-ups. And we lost narrowly to Hoyiko, which we generally lose to anyway.
Yeah. And then some other news broke during this season of all the friendlies coming out, which is the new kit.
Yeah.
I mean, describe it, Jules. How are you at describing kits?
Okay. Well, it's like our old kit, except it's got for some inexplicable reason, it's got crimson, red, burgundy,
claret.
yeah,
Who knows until we actually see it up front.
pinstripes, which just don't get because it's not our color. So why is it there?
When
Why
I
is it
first,
there? I mean, what's it saying about club culture? I mean, as you mentioned it earlier, that a lot of people have left the club. Richie, Stevie, but then Stevie's only been here 4 years. But like, come on, club knowledge. Then what are we doing with red in the kit? It doesn't belong there.
it's really weird because I saw it and was like, well, that's like last year's but worse.
Yeah,
And
last year's was nice.
and a lot of people have got used to it, I think, and yet the comment that keeps coming back, like you said, is where does red come from? What is that?
Yeah.
What's that for? Why red? And
Mark, are you going to buy it?
well, no, not the black one,
No,
but I think the
that's the
away
white
kit
one got
looks.
red as well.
Yeah, it has. It's only white with the burgundy trim all over, including the stripes, and I actually think it's quite nice. So I might. And I see. This is where we've had this conversation with Billy, and Billy is very hardcore. The home kit should be only black and gold and as much little gold as possible. And I've sort of said over the years, well, what about a horizontal band or a sash? Or no, he doesn't want any of that. So he must be spewing. I mean, he keeps his thoughts to himself. So I don't know how Billy feels about this kit, but I'm guessing he's not a fan.
No.
For the home kit. The away kit, I don't mind there being a bit of flexibility. I mean, traditionally our third kit was green. That green shirt that we used to wear away to VPS. So,
Right.
you know, I don't mind if the away kit has a bit of something else in it. It's a bit more interesting. But, you know, I just don't understand why there's red on the home kit. It doesn't make sense to me. Black, gold, and white. Okay, that's fine. You know,
you can cobble up a decent kit with those three colours.
Yeah, you can, and I don't know. We're just too small for Adidas to really care about. I understand that, and so
Who signed off on putting claret?
I don't know. It's really weird. What's the red mean? Where's it from? Don't know.
Yeah.
We're asking questions that the other fans are asking, and none of us have got answers to it.
Yeah. So tell us, club. Communicate with us. Let us know what's going on.
Here's the thing. Like when clubs normally launch a kit, they'll tell you what it's about. They'll sell it to you. This one dribbled out. It dribbled out first. We saw it first in the Finnish Football Show group, because there are kit perverts in there that share this stuff. And then a couple of days later, I saw Laddie share it in the SJK Kloppid group, and you know, some people like it, some people don't, but we don't know anything about it. It's not been announced by the club. It's just kind of appeared on the internet. So what is now? So any chance you have of explaining it and getting people to buy into it, it's gone because we don't, and we're not.
That's the
Anyway,
Yep.
that's the kit. That's the kit.
Let's move on to
we're recording this.
international call-ups.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, we're in the middle of the international week where clubs are getting practice in for the World Cup, or some of them are still, or countries rather, or still qualifying for the World Cup. And we've got players playing international football at the moment.
And finally, there's that. we have a SJK player, current player, playing for the Finnish national team. So congratulations to Kasper Paananen, who got his first cap for the Finnish Maajoukkueen national team. He came on 45 minutes against New Zealand.
Yeah, that was interesting. It was great that he got called up. Obviously, he was called up quite late. I get the feeling that he was in Helsinki for the HJK friendly last Saturday and then got sort of whisked away almost at the last minute from there. So I don't know whether he had a suitcase packed just in case, or if he had
Have you got your passport with you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that sort of thing. You don't need a passport to go to Helsinki just yet.
Yeah, but like to get to New Zealand, you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So did he have it with him? I don't know.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is, having been a last minute call up to the squad, he actually came on at half time in the first game. Yeah. So I don't know if he'd seen, if Jakob Friis had seen something in training, or if, someone finally pointed out, the top scorer in our domestic league plays in Seinäjoki, and maybe we'll see what he's like and put him on the pitch. But it was great. It was great to see that. And
I was listening more than watching the game. And he did have one shot where he was about to pull the trigger, or he did pull the trigger, but it was blocked straight. So there, but he did start off the second Finnish goal.
Yeah, I didn't see it because I was at work. It's another one taking place during the working day.
You can forgive New Zealand for doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Different time zones.
But there were in the highlights, there were a few times where he did that thing that we've seen of being the one of the central forward players, but getting back and closing down their defenders when they're on the ball. And he did that in one occasion that nearly led to a goal. And then, like you say, he was involved in the build-up to the actual goal. And I think that the chance he had, it was a ball over to him, and it was a bit of a heavy touch. He didn't quite kill it, and it's sort of bouncing a bit, and it just wasn't. He didn't get a good enough shot away soon enough.
Yeah.
And I did message him after the game just to sort of say congratulations, and he said, and I said, like, how are you feeling? And he said, thank you, I feel good, but I know I should have scored. In the next one, I will. I think it was one of those.
Yeah.
So that's confident to be looking at the next game already.
Yeah, which could be on Monday.
Yes.
Against Kelvin. So if he does, maybe he's thinking about that. Maybe he's thinking, I've got the wool over Kelvin's eyes, and I know how to play against him. Kelvin Perez is obviously playing for Cape Verde, or might be.
Yes, he's in the squad. Yeah.
So that it might be against him, but he didn't start the Kelvin Perez didn't start for Cape Verde. He watched the whole game from the bench, I believe.
That's right. And I was just thinking that this call up for Casper could be the thing that now makes other clubs around the world notice or pay that little bit more attention. It's always like, okay, Veikkausliiga top scorer, but how many caps? Oh, well, now you've got a cap. Maybe he's got 2 caps by the time he comes home, and
a goal.
Well, hopefully a goal as well. Yeah. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And then the transfer windows in all the big leagues again open in June to August. So then you're a Finnish international that was top scorer in your domestic league last year. Suddenly, maybe that whole package looks a little bit more interesting for clubs. So it could be good for him and for us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I made these notes on Friday.
Yep.
And the next one we're talking about is Samuel Chukwudi.
Yep.
For the Faroe Islands, who actually played 60 minutes.
Okay. Last night.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And Faroe Islands beat San Marino, was it 2-1? Yep, 2-1. So, yeah.
A friend of the show, Prosper Pedera, is away with Zimbabwe.
So Samuel and Casper.
Well, I mean, they're all friends of the show.
We've got lots of friends.
And Prosper's our newest friend.
Yeah.
Another friend of the show.
Yeah.
But he's in...
friend of you? I wasn't there. Mark's friend.
Mark's friend of the show. Prosper Pedera, he's away with Zimbabwe, a 4-team tournament over this weekend. So there's games against Botswana, Malawi and Zambia among those four sides.
Prosper?
Yeah, and Oscar Ribaisto has been called up to Finland under 21s.
Yeah, and I had to Google it. He's only 20. So he just looks older and acts older. As we mentioned earlier, he's part of the captain's team. So, well done to him. He unfortunately didn't play in the 0-8 win against San Marino. And the next game is on Tuesday, the 31st against Cyprus. So hopefully he'll get on the pitch then.
And then there's one more, Lawrence Ouma Okoth. It was on the bench for Kenya on Friday. So that's another current academy player. But
quite a few players.
Yeah, and that's for the Kenyan national team, not for one of the age groups, as I understand it.
Yep.
So busy stuff. There's a lot going on this weekend, which is only, Jules, 1 week before the season starts, the Veikkausliiga season.
So HJK away on Easter Saturday. So we're going there to Virpominen. So that's like that thing that we do in Etelä-Pohjanmaa on the Saturday between Easter. Everywhere else around Finland, they do it today on the Sunday before Easter. So hopefully we can go there and get some sweeties and some treats from HJK.
I'd settle for 3 points. That would taste sweet enough.
Yes, it would do.
And we don't know that the teams will clearly be very different, but going down there and getting a decent performance in a tight 1-0 defeat just a couple of weeks ago, hopefully that bodes well for the start of the season.
Yeah. I would take a point from that, definitely.
The sad thing about this game is that there won't be any away fans travelling down there. So there's a boycott for the away fans.
Can you tell us exactly why?
I can tell you exactly why. Yep. This is because HJK they've got problems in their home end with their ultras and the wider group, and they're clamping down on that by insisting that anyone standing in that end of the of the ground must have a named ticket. So the ticket can only be given to them and cannot be passed on to someone else. So whereas many clubs, it's okay, you've got a season ticket or a match ticket and you can share it or give it to a friend or whatever, they're clamping down on that. But they've also instigated the same rule for the away fans as well. And away fans are not going down there causing trouble. It's home fans that have had issues in the past. And I think very soon after this was announced, almost every Veikkausliiga club, their supporters group said, it was almost like a boilerplate text. They almost all said the same kind of thing. We are boycotting this because we don't believe this is the right thing to do. I mean, the thing is, if you buy a ticket online, you have to pay with your credit card details. Like they know who's buying the tickets. Yeah. But I could buy 4 tickets and I could give one to Satu, one to Topias, one to, whatever. Not everyone has to go on the list. And I feel like it's personal opinion, bit of a slippery slope that you have to register to go and attend a public event.
Thatcher's idea.
Well, this is like ID cards for football fans in the 1980s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gosh.
But like I say, if you use a season ticket, it's connected to you. People know it's yours. If you buy tickets online, it can be traced back to you. But why? So why go that extra stage for away fans who are not causing problems in the first place?
And exactly, if people are causing trouble, they're not actually holding their ticket up in front of, so you can easily identify them, are they? As well. So it's a bit stupid.
They're mostly hiding under banners and putting balaclavas on.
Yeah. So then just go in there with security, ban balaclavas and go in with security and sort it out that way. Go in heavy-handed with lots of police. Why not? So what have I just condoned?
You've just gone back to the 80s, Jules, where you grew up.
Well, I'm a Chelsea fan. We had electric fences to keep us in. So,
well, did they actually, or was it just proposed?
I think it actually was. I don't think anyone actually tried it, but
can you believe this, listener, that in the UK in the 1980s at Chelsea FC they were planning, or maybe did put in, electrified fences to keep the football fans from getting onto the pitch. That's how we were treated in the 80s.
But the thing is as well, there were stupid people who were causing the trouble, like at IFK. Okay, so stupid people behaving in a stupid way, doing silly things that doesn't belong at football ever. What happens? You put up barriers to keep fans in, and you lose 90 people, get crushed to death at Hillsborough.
Yeah, that's right. There's one thing leading on to the other.
Basically, don't be a nuncy. Don't be an idiot, and behave. Football's meant to be fun. Not
be rowdy, but behave.
Yeah, indeed. But so that's a good reason not to go to Helsinki anyway. That if their fans are being stupid and we're being punished.
So when is our first opportunity to be rowdy but behave at home, Jules?
Yes, it is a Friday night game, Friday the 10th against EFK. Rub hands against IFK. God, I'm getting difficult with these mixing languages. IFK Mariehamn. So we're playing them. That should be 3 points, we would think. It should
be. It's also Friday, 7:00. That's lovely. Yeah, that means we can have a little bit of a evening out, maybe, Jules.
We can do. Indeed.
We can meet up for happy hour. Remember that, listeners. Happy hour before the game for for everyone.
I'm just checking my diary. Do you fancy going for a pizza before that? We could have a.
Are we actually arranging our social life with the microphones open?
We can throw it open to everybody as well.
We all meet in the same pizza
restaurant. We've done it on some games before Saturdays. And
we could maybe do that. Let's see how the.
Make sure we got a good base for our performance.
Well, this is true.
Drinking.
Yeah. But as long as we get in good time for those lovely happy hour Carlsbergs.
Assuming that there are some. We haven't heard anything yet. Of course, it's too early, but I'm assuming that there will be.
Is that a good enough reason to boycott our home games as well?
Wait, what was the reason why you're not drinking red wine? What was the...
I did say that because there are burgundy or claret stripes in our kit this year that I'm going to boycott drinking red wine at the ground.
How many glasses of red wine have you ever drunk at at a football ground. Not
It's
even
been a long-term
ground.
boycott, Jules.
You're predicting the future in
It was-
2026.
It was 10 years ago that Omar Aspet Stadium opened, and I have never had a glass of red wine in that stadium since. I knew this day was coming. I've been boycotting it all the way through. So, what final thing, I suppose, because we've been banging on for, I don't know, we started recording about an hour ago. So,
Yeah.
once I cut out all the mistakes, about 20 minutes
because of my mistakes. This is our pre-season friendly as well. So there was a couple of clangers in there. So
True that.
It's only lasted 10 minutes.
How are you feeling about this season?
Now going back, then at that fan event, then I answered the question wrong. The question was what should the goals be for our club, which of course is European football. Okay. But I answered it as what my expectations are. And after our dreadful Liigacup performance as it was going then, and so many players leaving, okay, there's some players coming in as well. I would say anywhere from 9th to 4th.
Well, that's very open.
Yeah.
I see. I
Maybe
think,
8th to 4th. Let's be more positive.
Okay. I still think we're a top 6.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean,
definitely can be.
We've lost players.
Yep.
But not all of them. And not all of the players that were doing good things for us last year. We've brought in players, and although we've got a change of coach, we haven't brought in someone inexperienced. Like Jarkko knows the league.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows Finnish players. He knows football. It's not like, I know some people were not. Yeah, exactly. I know some people were not very enthusiastic about him coming to the club. There was some negativity about it in the beginning. We don't really, or haven't really heard or seen much from him yet. A few quite sort of dry comments in articles on the website or whatever. But so I guess for us, Jules, our club has gone back to being more like a traditional club where the management and everything do their job, and we're not interacting with them. So we've had it a bit differently for the last couple of years. And
I think there's a disconnect. Well, I feel a disconnect between more this year than any other year. That a disconnect between the team or SJK and myself. Maybe it's just because I've got lots of other stuff going on in my personal life, but I just feel like more of a disconnect.
Is that because we've been more connected in the last few years? So that's what I was sort of getting at. Like things have changed.
It could be that. It could be just that. Okay, that I've got to do a lot of studying, and I've just kind of haven't got time for this. But then communications. What communication is coming from the club?
That's true.
There isn't any communication.
Yeah, very little.
And surely there can be some kind of videos, interviews, something going on. As you said, like Jakov has been with us now for 4 months, and interview him, video him. Let's hear from him. Let's have. Why are we talking about what our expectations are for the season? The club has got no message from them, and we're a week away. So I think that there's been complaints about the marketing. Marketing's a big thing, but media communications, there's just, as I say, disconnect. There's nothing much going on.
Yeah, but I still think that's how it's always been. I mean, that's why we started this podcast, is because we were asked if there's any content in English, and we were like, no, maybe we'll do something.
But in English, there should be something in Finnish as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's even more to the point, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. Something.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I get what
I'm
you're
saying we can finish
players gone out, but
3rd to 6th, and you're saying 3rd to 8th, 4th to 8th.
Yeah, I think that you never know what other teams can do and how it goes. Going on the league performances, Liigacup performances, then they were pretty terrible. But then hopefully we've had more time to bed in. So it's not a given. What I'm saying, it's not a given that we're going to finish in the top half. And if we finish in the bottom half, then it can be 7th or 8th.
But not in danger. I don't think we'll be in danger either, to be honest.
Yeah, there's worse clubs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but then again, this is very much we don't know what's going on because I haven't followed how other teams have been doing. So, but if you think of like Cups, I imagine will be better than us. IFK should be better than us, and Inter Turku, yeah, and then it's who's next best, like Ilves,
Gnistan, us.
Yeah,
You'd
I think
think
we should be better than Gnistan. We should be better than them. But if VPS, they kind of have a good season and a bad season, so yeah,
they're due a better season, aren't they?
Yeah, Aciola will be better than they were last season, but still, we will be better than them, I think. And I'm just trying to think of other teams. There's not Mariehamn will be flirting with relegation again, probably. Yeah.
Let's see. And also maybe I can do a little plug for Finnish Football Show, because we've got fans from different Veikkausliiga clubs coming, sending their kind of season previews, and we'll be publishing those on the Finnish Football Show in the coming days as well. So we'll get this one out of us kind of summing everything up at SJK, and then there'll be other content coming through the week. So I'll be sharing that online and sharing it in various WhatsApp groups, or certainly in the SJK supporters English language WhatsApp group. I'll be sharing my links there as well. So
I just mentioned Haka, and they got relegated last season.
You weren't paying attention.
So we do better than them. So
I do hope so.
Yeah. So Lahti's back. They are serial, as they say it here. We say yo-yo team, but then lift team, elevator team.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But then
and TPS came up as well last year.
Yeah.
Which, for those not listening, that's a traditional old club, isn't it, in Finland? TPS. They're not the biggest. They're not the best club in Turku at the moment, but Inter Turku is a much newer club, and TPS is the traditional one down there.
Yeah.
Right, Jules, I think that just about wraps up this episode. Listener, remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or watching. And remember, you can find the whole archive of our episodes on YouTube.
And you can contact the Seinäjoki Supporters Podcast by email at seinäjokifootballpod@gmail.com. And you can find links to all our content on Linktree at Seinäjoki Football Pod.
That will get smoother as the season goes along.
No guarantees there, mate. I could be on a loan deal, on a loan deal to the Faroe Islands or something. Yeah.
We also have that WhatsApp group that I just mentioned to continue the conversation between podcasts. Hey, one of our, I think, listeners and members of that group, Femi, has been really active lately, and I've encouraged him to keep that going, because it's good to have different people sharing. So thanks, Femi. Keep doing that. The group is open to any fans of SJK. So if you want to join, go to the Linktree. There's a link there to request joining the group, and if I think you're actually a fan, I'll approve you joining.
Yeah. So until the next episode, which I imagine will be in a couple of weeks' time, Mark, after the first home game, something like that. Yeah. So see you at the stadium on Friday night, and if you fancy a pizza, we'll let you know where to meet at what time. So goodbye.
Hey, bye.